Hello, and welcome to the third part of the presentation where I briefly wrap up the academic value portion, discuss the life value portion of literacy, and put some final thoughts into my presentation. Now, the outside application is that just because their skills of literacy, reading, writing, and speaking, does not mean they're only applied in English class. Literacy is a skill that is applied in every subject in school. Because if you think about it, every subject in school has a textbook. Textbook equates to reading. Reading equates to critical thinking, and hence literacy is required in every subject in school. Now, I can divulge more into why, but if you think about it, that's one logical pathway to understand why literacy is a skill that is applied in every subject in school. And speaking of outside application, literacy and life go hand in hand. Why is that? Well, first let's discuss that our students are living in the 21st century. They're living in an age of information. It is now even more necessary to learn literacy to succeed than, the past centuries, so to speak, because our students are now living in a literacy stampede. They are literally surrounded by a universally accessible internet, a very accessible media, social media as well, and it is vital that they have the correct and proficient literacy skills to travel through the literacy stampede. Because the fact of the matter is, they are surrounded by words, and they will need proficient to excellent reading skills to interpret the words, the data, and the information that's around them. Because yes, reading is a skill needed in every generation by everyone, but now more than ever do our students need to have high proficient reading. And speaking of high proficiency, our students should also have high proficiency in writing as well. No, they are not going to be writing a 5-page paper about Shakespeare after school. Most likely not. Maybe they might go to grad school and write it. However, your students will be entering the workforce, and their employers, their managers, and their bosses are expecting your students to have basic writing so that way they can communicate their thoughts effectively on paper. Because I would argue and say that writing is not only a basic required skill to succeed in school, but a basic required skill for life. Now, speaking out to the world, your student should have proficient speaking skills. Why? Because they won't be no longer just be communicating with peers. They'll be communicating with colleagues, their bosses, their clients, etc., etc. And it is vital for your student to present themselves as effectively as they can and show a very appropriate and clean image of themselves. Because the fact of the matter is, having high communication means that they'll be able to communicate their thoughts effectively as well. And many people can understand your students much well, I think I would say, if they have high communication skills, especially in the future. So, all in all, literacy is very important. It holds value to the students who teach it, be it their academic life and real life. It is an essential skill for the 21st century for students to succeed. Because if you think about it, my fellow teachers, this whole information age is just going to get bigger. It is exponentially growing as I speak. And more information will slowly bombard our students as each generation goes and goes. And I do believe that teaching proficient literacy is probably in our best interest because the fact and the matter is, our students in our classrooms are our future for the world. And I think it would be much beneficial for our world if when our students grow up big that they are literate, they are bright-minded, and they're able to show the world how bright-minded they are. But they won't be able to show how bright-minded they are if they do not possess the literacy skills. So bear in mind, teachers,